Okay, we are recording. I'll call the meeting to order. Welcome, gentlemen. This is the Vacancy Subcommittee. And what I thought we would do is just to go over the proposed language, and then if there's any changes that need to be made, and we could, you have a copy of it in front of you. And then we could, once we nail down the language, we could move on to the work plan and the slideshow in case we need, or slide presentation in case we need to make any changes to that. John, did you have a question?
I had some comments about it.
Okay.
Because, well, there's a couple things. I think that the King County language is where most of it came from. It looks like, and,
That is correct.
and
Almost all of it.
It makes good sense. The problem I have with it is that it's really detailed, and it looks like you need to be a lawyer to understand it. Almost.
Probably written by a lawyer.
Probably written by a team of lawyers, yeah. And I just wondered if there was a way to simplify the language a little bit. I have a couple more comments too, but simplify it and possibly divide it into the what and the how. And I think that the what needs to the requirements need to be in the charter, but the how maybe doesn't necessarily. I mean, we might be able to leave some of that stuff up to the staff, to write instructions on how to do that, like they've done with initiatives and referendums, for instance. Another comment about it is that it seems to include all the offices. It talks about vacancies in the council, and it talks about vacancies in the executive elective positions. But and it should, but I'd like to see if we could split those up into two separate sections, because we don't know if our two proposals for this November ballot are going to pass. We don't know if both of them are going to pass. We don't even know if one of them is going to pass, right? So we could still end up with partisan positions next year. Let's see. So those two are like my main points that I wanted to discuss. Also, because of that, we may want to postpone the presentation to the entire commission 1 month. And that brings up another subject, is I've got a road trip. I'm going to be on a road trip the end of September and the 1st of October. So I probably won't be able to meet in the October meeting. I probably have to miss that.
Okay.
So those are my comments. Oh, well, and also I would volunteer to write up something similar to what you've done, Doug, to cover if they don't pass, if our proposals don't pass, to make those positions nonpartisan, because I still think that even with partisan positions, we have a problem, because several people that run for partisan office, don't run as a Republican or a Democrat. So we don't have that method of getting candidates from the parties.
Yeah. There's under the statutes, there's couple ways. I think you're right that probably maybe it should be two separate resolutions with the commissioners or the counselors and the other separate elected officials. But the
maybe a suggestion on that. splitting it. Maybe we just identify, well, it's pretty apparent which of them applies to the various officers compared and contrasted with the counselors. So we could write it, I'm going to say 3 ways: a joint one if they both pass, one way, and one the other way, and just present the three
Yeah.
depending on how it goes. But yet, my goal would be only one of the measures goes
Yeah.
to the November 22 ballot.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense.
it complicates our work, but I think that solves one of John's questions, but just waiting. I can't support waiting. Let's get that slice and dice options finalized, and then we can just say that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that makes sense.
All right. So
That works.
Regarding, if I can respond to John's other concern about, I'm going to call it specificity in the process. If we're going to have a process that's not in RCW, we need to be fairly specific. And there isn't really a provision at the county level for nonpartisan vacancies in the RCWs that I could find. So
there isn't.
and I looked at a couple different sources. So I struggle with the pardon my analogy, but to some point, chickens in the hen house, and the fox gets in. They could create a process that isn't as robust as it needs to be if it's not specific to preclude that fox issue. And no reference to anybody named Fox. I'm just using that as an analogy.
Agreed.
That's a good point. The staff sometimes will try to not be as they'll smooth things out and make things even more nebulous because they want to get something through, and they're dealing with bosses and all that. So I think it's easier for us as elected officials to tell it like it is.
Right, and that's been one of my trademarks over the years. So unfortunately or fortunately, my question in that last paragraph of the 6.x, the example that I provided from Camus, our process is a shall, not a may. And if we choose to not do it, then it reverts to the next higher governmental authority to fill the vacancy.
I think that was taken out of the King County. I don't think that was something that I did. We could change that.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
I would advocate that it be shall.
There's a big difference between shall and may. That's true.
Yep.
I've had in my experience, if you say may, then you know it might not happen if it needs, even if you think it needs to.
Yeah, and that's one of the goes back to that specificity. That word really matters.
It does. I've wrestled with that for 30 years. That word may and shall, and there's times where I've wanted the word may in legislation because I was trying to be innovative from my standpoint, but I had other counties that didn't want to take that task on, and they couldn't because they didn't have the skill sets or resources to do that. And so we had to pass a lot of laws by the word may. It gives the legislators, they like that wiggle room, and they'll pass anything with wiggle room. But,
I understand. We've done that on occasion too, but in this particular thing, because we're rolling it out and there is no RCW behind it, I'm pretty certain I like the word shall. So I'm done. That was my only point.
Would you
agreed
suggest that and I sort of feel comfortable with the language because it's been vetted by legal folks, and I think our legal folks will probably defer to King County folks in that to get this thing through. But if a person's in a no no party designation right now, they actually have an opportunity, and they can make that choice, whatever party they're more closely aligned to, and just declare it before they leave, unless they get hit by a bus, um, that they will be uh, switching to a party, and then that party will be able to make the selection. So that's sometimes how it happens. Other times, if it doesn't, then it just uh, the board will probably just appoint a temporary person in there, and then very similar to what we have here, and just wait for the election to make the choice, and it goes on from there. In the current environment, in the current law, do you think this last paragraph then should be a so you're talking about having the last paragraph be separate, have um, the part above it be a separate, and then have the whole thing together, so that we have the options of either one passing or they both pass. Is
I
that
would, yes.
okay?
At least at this stage right now.
Okay,
If we've ironed out the agreements amongst ourselves, it's no change. It's just three different Legos
right.
stacked together.
And we won't know until after November 3rd. So we have all
Right.
options there. Present to the commission, have it ready to go, and we can
Yeah.
move forward, because there's going to be a time crunch. We knew that between November 4th and December 31st. So,
And because there's cut and paste, it should be
yeah,
no. And the lawyers can read it three times or they can read it once. It doesn't really matter.
yeah. So, I'll serve. I could go back and work this for the next meeting to uh, have it done, and I could put it in the three different ways and work the proposed ballot measure and explanatory statement also, so that there's three of them there that makes sense. If you want me to do that, I could do that and send it out to you over email and have you take a look at it prior to our next meeting. Does that make sense to do something like that?
It does to me.
I think I agree too.
Okay.
Even me.
Did you have John, did you have something else that you wanted to say?
No, I think I was looking at this last paragraph again, and I was thinking about the Pierce County, the way that they handle the nonpartisan ones, and I believe I was going to say, well, I like the way they are doing it, at least in their in concept, and I believe that concept is kind of captured in this last paragraph here that says that we just changed the may to a shall.
Okay.
So I was thinking on the hoof there.
Yeah. No, I missed that piece there, but it should be definitely a shell. So if we're comfortable with that, we'll go ahead. I'll work on the three different options there, and we'll set up another meeting. Uh, just to let you know that I will be gone from September 3rd through the 22nd or 23rd. I am in subcommittee meetings. I can still do subcommittee meetings, but I will be um, uh, wanting to. I'll be on the East Coast, so I'll have to figure out 3 hours difference to do that. And so anyway, I just unless something else happens, I'm doing a lot of caregiving right now, and things could go one way or the other on that. But I'm hoping I've been planning this for 2 years. I had to cancel it once and trying to do it again. So any on the on the work plan, that's assuming that at our next meeting that we will have everything finalized. But this work plan can be definitely changed. Yes.
One comment about the work plan is really small, but it's resolution 1 and or resolution 2 passes.
Ah, yes.
And it's just consistent with what we just talked about, splitting it into options. And adding a plural for prepare resolutions.
Oh, yeah, on the work plan.
Okay. All right. Anything else on the work plan? And that's just a general one. If you see something that we need to add to it,
With, yeah, I was had a question about the last row, the public involvement and communications. With in my other subcommittee that I'm a member of, we talked about not not inviting the public too much into discussions about the 22 ballot issues until the 21 election is over. And because don't want to, don't want to confuse issues.
okay. So you would say not doing a survey and just do virtual town halls.
I would assume that we should mesh with the full commission and not do anything separate as a committee activity.
Okay, I'll cross that out.
Yeah, that would, yeah, so maybe there's maybe just whatever the full commission decides to do. And I don't know if we've made that decision as a full commission or not, have we?
No, I don't think so.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Anything else on the work plan for now? We'll cross that piece out. Guess I got some homework to do here for you guys. On the this is something I was hoping to be able to propose to the group at some point, whenever that is, in October or September, October, or but hopefully before November, because there's another piece that has to be written that I'll probably be involved in writing for the auditor's submission to the ballot. But I've just I had picked this. I just picked this. It was already a pre-designed slideshow presentation thing, and so it had this amount of room, but I was trying to make it visual too at the same time for our commission to view it, so understand what the current practice is, like what a proposed resolution is, and the advantages for making that change. If you have any other concepts or ideas, this is just something I pulled out of, I think, PowerPoint templates, and this seemed to be fit the my thought process at the moment.
No, I like the way it flows.
Okay.
And I like that it all fits on one page, and it's a good visual representation. So
Okay, I just didn't know if there's anything else visually that we need to do, but I'll if you have anything that pops in your brain at 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever, and you can jot it down. But we'll just leave that then as stands right now until we make any other changes. But that's sort of covers generically all three changes.
Right, and I think that is a one slide that you can just talk through the fact that pending the results of the election, this is the
Yeah.
the ultimate best or worst case, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah. So, yes, that's any other questions that we have for today?
I'm good. I get to go back to painting, so yay.
All right.
What are you painting?
A bathroom.
Oh, that's,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Oh.
I've been staring at mine for a long time thinking I should do it, but
It's time, Doug. I just painted our bathroom a couple of weeks ago and because we've been waiting a few years
okay.
to do it.
So how
Yeah.
long is it going to take you to do that? I mean, how long total from beginning of cleaning things up to masking it to painting it and then cleaning it up again?
Well, I haven't got to the end yet. I can't tell. John, you're the expert now.
I think it took me about a week, give or take.
Okay, it'll take me 2
And
weeks.
but I wasn't working on it all the time. But because we had another bathroom to use.
Yeah.
Yeah, took everything apart and took the stuff off the wall and put it all, then painted and put it back. It didn't take that long really.
It's going
I left the closet though.
around stuff.
The closet didn't get painted.
I understand that. I'm in the same situation. If they want to worry about that, that's their problem.
Yeah.
Closets take forever.
Yeah. Wow. That's one
Anyway,
of my next
off
steps.
topic. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, okay. I think if there's anything else anybody wants to say?
I'm good.
Is there anything that I can do, Doug? I know I volunteered to write a section, but is that I'll do that if you.
No, it won't probably take me that long to once I get going on and the juice start flowing about 10:30 at night. You got to
Yeah.
check me though because I'm usually tired and I could screw things up. So I appreciate your eagle eye on reading this stuff because I could mess it up. But I've sort of got the flow in my head in terms of the proposed ballot measure and explanatory statements and stuff like that, and I could add that to it because that's part of the piece that I need to have prepared. So it's pretty much all ready to go. That we do the town halls and all that, but and it also will help if they're for the town halls to have some of that summarized for the audience if anybody is watching.
Yep.
So anyway, and what committee are you on, John? Uh,
The preamble,
oh, yes,
preamble
yes.
committee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just hope that the preamble will to the side have these sort of cover these topics because I think that people um, will naturally agree on it. They expect accountability out of the government. They expect effectiveness, efficiency, transparency, and the checks and balances is so important because sometimes you'll have um, someone abusing their checks and balances, and then that gets things out of kilter and makes government less efficient and effective because they're hurting another part of the county government. And people don't realize, and especially our counselors don't, that I'm providing, or when I was a treasurer, we were providing services to all the taxing districts and to the state. So if we aren't efficient, I'm not it has an impact, a ripple effect all the way down to the cities, the schools, the fire districts, everybody. So because sometimes they get in the blinders of just dealing with in some instances in the past, just unincorporated area, though that they forget the county is the entire county, and that if a city ever wanted to unincorporate, like Camas or something, it's the county that will pick up everything because they are the creature by the state.
Mhm.
And, cities are sort of maybe a creature of counties. I'm not saying that. They have to, state has to allow it too, but anyway.
Yeah, that's good. That's and we hadn't talked about that, so I'm gonna bring it up.
Oh, okay,
That's good. That's good. That's
good.
good input.
And if you have a meeting sometime, I'd love to listen in to see what you guys are doing. Because I was tempted to sign up for that, but I wanted to cover these other topics on ranked choice voting and selection process. And that's been an interesting one to learn about. And also the initiative referendum to see if maybe we should be looking at that percentage and reducing it a bit on that. But and I
Yeah.
was astounded that there's nothing in statute. It was Supreme Court ruling that gave the authority for counties to have home rule counties to have initiative referendums. So anyway,
Yeah, that is a good one. I think yeah, I agree with you that it needs to be more accessible. And so there's an upper limit and a lower limit somewhere. We need to find out
yeah, it gets better checks and balances, I think.
what the sweet spot is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. Well, if there's nothing else, I'm going to stop the recording and we'll call this meeting to adjourn. And know that